How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to yet another weekly warehouse update. This is a big one. Big day in the warehouse today. It's drop day, but we'll talk about that in a second. First, I got to highlight a bunch of stuff that's also going up on the site today, restocks. So first things first, we've got some patches. We have some restock patches. I'll show you those first. We got the Bogey Bro +1 patch. That's always a good time. The classic foundation logo patch. We also have the light blue Bogey Bro +1 patch and the Robbie C patch. All have been restocked. So these are all the patch restocks that have just happened. And then we have some new patches. We have the inverted Bogey Bros, so the white and black Bogey Bros patch. We used to have the black and white one, but this one looks clean. This one looks awesome. This is definitely going on my bag. And then, whoop, missed the box. And then we also have the foundation script, smaller patch. So very fun. This is the old logo. This is the OG foundation logo there. Great time. So bunch of new patches have just hit the site. Another disc I want to highlight that is releasing, I think might have already released, but is releasing today, if nothing else, is the Robbie C Ozone. So I believe the Ozone in general is hitting the site today, but I wanted to highlight these specific. The Ozone's a brand new disc from Trash Panda. It is their fairway driver, flippy fairway driver. You can see the bottom says Ozone. In the top, you have like this ghost imprint Robbie C logo. So if you're looking for a flippy fairway, it is a great option here. Brand new disc from Trash Panda. A lot of hype around this. Robbie was actually just up there like hand making a bunch of discs and doing stuff like that. It was a blast, and I'm sure he had a part in imprinting some of these. So if you want to get your hands on the new Robbie C Ozone or just the new Ozone, you can head to the site now as well. All right, we are slowly getting more and more of that Innova Restock up that I've been telling you about. So I'm going to highlight a few of the molds that went up today. First off, we have the Aviar X3 Big Germ signature disc. Just a nice overstable approach disc, not like crazy overstable like the Zone or anything like that, but plenty overstable for your typical shots. Like backhand, you'll notice a little bit more. Forehand, it's really nice and torque resistant, almost dead straight. Very, very great approach disc. I actually had one in my bag for quite a while back in the day. So a bunch of different colors. I have the Star Aviar X3. As we move down the line, I believe the next restock was the Mako 3 here. So we have some bottom stamp ones. These are really fun. The Mako 3 is one of the most underrated mid-ranges on the market. Just a dead straight point and shoot disc. It kind of fills the gap that I use for my M4 for. We also have some, oh look at that Halo one. I was trying to grab a Champ one, but that one's gorgeous too. We also do have some Champ ones as well, but just plenty fast, 5-speed. It's technically a 5500. It depends on your arm speed. Sometimes it'll act more like a 5.5 -10, and sometimes it'll act like a 5.502. Depends on your arm speed, but regardless, it's a nice neutral mid. That's true across the board. So ton of fun to throw. Also a great like forehand hyzer flip disc. Now, one of the most underrated discs in Innova's lineup, not just underrated mids, is the Nova. This disc used to be my all-time favorite disc. Named my dog after this disc. It is just a dead straight point and shoot putter. It actually has I believe it's the rim profile of the classic Aviar, so you already know it's comfortable, and then it's just the overmold, Innova's overmold technology, different from MVP's. You can see the injection points underneath there. That's what separates it from what MVP's doing, but similar idea, similar. The outer rim's very grippy, so it'll hit and stick, grab the ground. Some people even claim it grabs the chains better if you're putting with it. I never really did that, but point and shoot approach disc. This disc used to be what Paul would recommend when he was with Innova for form work, because it shows you what you're doing wrong. If you throw an Anheuser or a Nova on Anheuser, it's gonna hold the Annie. If you throw it on hyzer, it's gonna hold the hyzer. And if you throw it flat, it's gonna go pretty flat with a little bit of a fade at the end. So you can go do field work with a Nova and see what you're doing, because this disc won't lie to you. So a lot of other discs will cover your form flaws and stuff like that, and that's great to have out of the course. But when you're trying to get better, you need a disc that's just going to show you what you're truly doing, and that's what the Nova does. So awesome, awesome disc. And then, I mean, as you use it more and more, you can throw it for so many shots. And the final disc I'm looking for, I believe, is down over here, the Valkyrie. Another great neutral. This is a 9-speed here. So we have some G-Star Valks. We've got some Champ Valks. Look at that new stamp. Isn't that gorgeous? 94 -22, I believe, is the Valkyrie flight numbers. There's the Star Valkyrie, and then last but certainly not least, the Halo Valkyrie. This is a disc that is just phenomenal. I really should be bagging it because it really flies like a beat-up Thunderbird. It's that like hyzer flip. People think that it's way flippier than it is. It's got a decent bit of integrity to it, a decent bit of stability. You'll be able to get it to flip up, get it to turn, get it to do that stuff, but it's not going to turn and burn on you unless you're throwing really, really hard. So for us average folks, the Valkyrie, very overlooked. You can get some crazy distance. If you're throwing like 300 to 350, this might be the farthest flying disc you throw. So if you haven't checked out a Valkyrie, I definitely recommend it. All right, Virginia fans, as in the state of Virginia, college fans, be excited. I'm actually about to power rank. We have 3 Virginia schools, okay, and I'm gonna power rank their football programs here. I think that'll be fun. We'll get you going. So we got some Prodigy discs, and coming in at the worst Virginia football program, Virginia football school, we have UVA. Very solid school. They're in the ACC, so also Tech is, but that's next up. We'll talk about that in a second. But they're in the ACC. I'm a big Duke fan. They're kind of good at basketball. It makes me hate them a lot more than other schools. They also suck at football. But hey, if you're a UVA fan and you want to prove me wrong, we got some PA5s here. We've got, I think you'll have like lacrosse or something, so maybe you're a good fan of that. And like I said, basketball program's fine. Tony Bennett's awesome. But PA3 here, some A2s. I think the molds I'm saying right now are going to be true across the board of all the colleges I'm about to show you, but some A2s, and I believe back here we have some F7s and M4s. Very clean looking logo, Cavaliers, Wahoo Wah, all that fun stuff. Now you can almost hear Enter Sandman playing for the number 2 on the tier rank here, which is Virginia Tech. Yeah, go Hokies. Y'all do have football, you know. I actually had a few cousins play football for y'all, funny enough. I've been to a game. It's electric. One of the best atmospheres I've ever been to in college football. I would say the best, but then Brody would be like, well, you haven't been to the swamp. Gators, go. And so I don't have to deal with that. But very awesome environment. Hopefully y'all's team can turn it around, because right now, stomping everyone out. Number 1 football program in the state, bar none. Can't argue it. Fan the Flames, go LU. Liberty University, we got the PA3s here. We've got some F7s here. I am slightly biased towards this school, but stats are stats, you can't argue them. M4s here. We've got, what do we have over here? PA5s, the black and white, those look clean. PA5s, gorgeous. So if you're a Liberty, Virginia Tech, or UVA fan, or you just like the state of Virginia, we got the Virginia schools in right now. We'll be getting some more schools in the future if you're a fan of something else. Maybe we'll power rank those too. I have all kinds of hot takes about college sports, so this could get really fun really quick. But for right now, there you go. UVA, Virginia Tech, and LU on the site. All right, now we're over in Clashville, USA. We actually they're not made in USA. But we've got, first off, Trevor's putter of choice, the Candy. Here we have the Candy, I think in softy and in hardy plastic. It's pretty easy to tell which one is which plastic. Hardy's the harder one, softy's the softer one. So really phenomenal putting putter, also a good throwing putter. Don't let Trevor's putting performance deceive you. These things do like to go in the basket. We saw him in a video that you'll probably, actually might have already seen, go back to putting with his steadies and you realize, wow, the Candy's good. Next up we have the Berry, one of my all-time favorite Clash discs. This disc is incredible. It's actually similar to the Mako 3 I was just showing you earlier. Also fits that like M4 slot that I use. Just a great hyzer flip mid, really dead straight, very neutral flying, ton of fun. That's the Berry. As we move down, we have a lot of Clash in stock in general, but as we move down, the Lotus is the next one I'm gonna highlight. 8.5 -1.2, really just phenomenal fairway driver. The 8-speed, I think, gets overlooked by a lot of people. People like going to the 9-speed, people like throwing the 7-speeds, whereas the 8-speed just lives in the middle, and that's where discs like the Passion live, the Mantis live, the Lotus lives. So a lot of phenomenal mid or fairway drivers live in that 8 slot, they just get overlooked. The Lotus is one of those. You can pick that up. And then we also have the Peppermint, was the last one I wanted to highlight here. The Peppermint, so they have the Mint, which is here. This came out first. Overstable, but it's kind of like a more neutral overstable. I'd say kind of like the AVR X3. Like, it's not crazy overstable, but it gets the job done. They wanted something more overstable, enter the Peppermint. The Peppermint is a lot more overstable. It's almost between a Zone and a Zone OS. It's slightly more than a Zone, but it's not like crazy overstable like the Baobab or the Zone OS or the Deflector or anything like that. So that's where the Peppermint falls in. Really, really great overstable approach to this, ton of fun to throw. And if you haven't tried out Clash's plastic, it's some of the best feeling plastic on the market. It really is incredible. So I highly recommend getting your hands on some. All right, we had a little bit of a Discraft restock go down this week. We're gonna talk a lot about Discraft for the rest of this video, so buckle up. And one of the plastics we're gonna talk about a lot is one of my all-time favorite plastics. If you watch the Weekly Warehouse, you know how much I love the ESP Flex plastic. Nothing's changed. I think it's the best plastic Discraft makes, which is why we made the decision we made when I'll talk in a second here. But ESP Flex Buzz, phenomenal feeling disc if you're looking for a really great buzz. It is going to be also a little bit straighter, which I think a lot of people are looking for, a straighter buzz, because sometimes buzzes can have sneaky stability. It's hard to find an overstable buzz. It's also hard to find a truly straight buzz. That's where ESP Flex comes in. As we make our way down the aisle here, I'm going to stop you at this box right here because we have a restock on ESP vultures. My personal favorite vulture is the ESP vulture. I've thrown Big Z, I've thrown Z, but ESP just seems to me to have like a little bit more glide for some reason. I don't know if that's actually true or if it's just the one I had, but I had an ESP vulture in my bag for quite a while. It overlaps my Thunderbird a little bit too much. It is a 10 speed, it's a hair faster. I think it's a hair less stable, but that's why one's not in my bag currently, but it's a phenomenal disc. It's one of those discs that like, if I ever am having a rough stretch with the Thunderbird and I need to just switch something up, I'll put a Vulture and a PD in and it complements exactly what I'm looking for. The Vulture is just a great, great disc. It's also one of my like all-time favorite forehand discs. Super comfortable and it fits my arm speed really well for the forehand. And then we also have, should be over here, we have some Predators. The Predator is one of the most look at this one first off, holy cow, that's not right. Big Z light green. You're gonna wanna pick this bad boy up because it's got the Big Z stamp. It's everything about it's Big Z except for the plastic. It's like a pearly Z. That's incredible. Really, really sick disc there, but the Predator in general is incredible. I think a lot of people thought Discraft didn't have this slot when the Predator was just laying here the whole time. It's very overstable, more in my experience, a little bit more overstable than a Firebird, but kind of right in that realm. And on the bottom, it has these like crosshairs, cross-hatching for like your grip. So even in the like rain, you got that. People who are like, oh, I hate that. Good news for you. You rotate the disc about 10 degrees, it's gone. It's only on one little part of the rim. I personally love it. I've found many times where my grip's just a little unsure. I'm gripping over here and I'm like, you know what, let me get over to that cross hatching. I threw the Predator for quite a while. Really, really like that. But people who don't like the Predator typically like the disc I'm about to tell you about, which is the Raptor. We have a bunch of Raptors in stock. We even have some Tour Series ones, still some Aaron Gossage ones. But the one I'm here to tell you about is the bottom stamp Raptor, mainly because it's just awesome. Bottom stamp, blank up top. This is the Dyer's Delight. If you're a disc dyer, or if you just got our dye box, last month's subscription box, you're looking for another disc to hit up, get the Raptor. ESP Raptors are typically gonna be a little bit less stable. They're gonna have a little bit more push than say your like Z Raptors. So you can actually, what you can do is pick up a Z Raptor and an ESP Raptor and have a good 1-2 punch in that overstable fairway slot. So a lot of great options from Discraft. We have a bunch of discs in stock right now, but let's talk about the star of the show right now. All right, today is the day. In my hand, I have the ESP Flex Jawbreaker Dark Horse Ace-a-thon Zone. If you haven't seen all the promotion for this, we're super excited. This is our first drop in a long time. I've been saying over 2 years, and I was just reminded that that's not fully true. I forgot the Photon Buzz. I got my timeline all mixed up. Oh, Raptorius was our last one. We did a Photon Buzz after that. So it's been right at 2 years. So my bad there, but it's been a long time is the message I'm trying to convey. It's been a long time since we've done a full release, and it's been even longer. We got to go back to like the Dark Claw days to get a Dark Horse Foundation collab. So we were able to collaborate with Discraft and Brody to make this happen. Not just this disc, but this disc is so much more than a disc because it's the Ace-a-thon. So what's going on here is you can head over to the site. These are live right now. You can pick one up and you go out to the course. You might want to pick up several because you go out to the course, you get an ace on camera, you tag us on social media, whatever social media, you tag Foundation and you tag Discraft, and now you've entered the contest. What's going to happen is we're going to pick 5. Foundation, we're gonna pick 4. Brody has decided he's gonna pick a Dark Horse 5th one. So that means that the 5th one that's gonna get the initial prize, it could literally just be a jump putt ace. Like any, is a Dark Horse ace, which means whatever, Brody, if you just like scuba salute from like 80 feet, Brody might pick you. Who knows? We never know what's going on with that man's head. So the Dark Horse pick, and then 4 other ace picks go in. All 5 of them get a prize, but then we put that to the audience votes, and the overall winner of the Dark Horse Ace-a-thon receives the grand prize, which is going to be a Grip AX5 Discraft bag full of accessories, discs, apparel items, all of that stuff. It's an awesome grand prize. So in addition to that, maybe you're like, look, I'm not an ace guy. I've been playing for 7 years, Hunter, never got an ace. First off, it only takes 1. Secondly, this disc is just awesome in general. It's an ESP Zone. I actually replaced my ESP Zone in my bag with it because it's a very like straight pushing zone, so it still has that zone-esque finish, but instead of it being dumpy, it has a little bit more of a push. And I've had an ESP Zone in my bag for a long, long time. They start like this. It's in my opinion, I think the best zone, because you can have the really overstable zone. You can put a zone OS or an A2 or something like that in, and then you have this complemented, and especially if you're throwing forehand approach shots, this is the zone you want for that, because you can just point and shoot it. You put it on a little bit of anhyzer, it's gonna flatten, it's gonna go dead straight right out the box, and then over time you can just crank it flat. And what's great about the zone is it'll lose the late turn fade as it beats in over the years. It'll lose the late fade, but it keeps the high speed stability. So the initial torque resistance, the initial part of its flight, it keeps, turning it into just a extreme workhorse. It's been one of my favorite scramble discs I've ever used, so I'm super excited to have it with the Jawbreaker and Flex, because that just makes this disc unreal. And the stamp's very fun too. So you don't have to ace with this disc if you get it. There's plenty of other uses for it. Even if you're just a die-hard Foundation fan and you just want to be a part of history, because this is, like I said, this could be the drop that brings us back to the drop game, who knows? But this is our first drop in a long, long time. So if you're a collector, that also has some value to it. But the Ace-a-thon, we got a bunch of different stamps here. I'm holding the red one now, but we also got this sick yellow one. We've got some silver hollow ones. This is like a green star one. What's this box here? Oh, the gold hollow. That's always one of my favorite. This like turquoise one. I wonder, I'm sure we have a Discraft stamp one somewhere. We haven't done a drop since Discraft started having the Discraft foil, so that'll be fun. There's like a copper one. So a lot of fun stamps to be had. There's the orange camo here, and plus the Jawbreaker just adds a unique factor to most of the discs anyway. So, oh, here we go. We've got the Discraft foil right there. There it is. I've never seen a Foundation drop with a Discraft foil, so you can get your hands on those. That's even double rare. But there you have it. These are live on the site. Head over there. We don't know how fast they're gonna sell out. It could be today, it could be 3 weeks from now, but if you wanna make sure you get one, today's your best shot to make sure you get one and make sure you have your pick of everything on the site. So head over there now, get in on the Ace-a-thon. I can't wait to see your aces, and then we'll be back next week with another update.